Hi everyone, good morning. I'm hoping this is working. We've had trouble with using my laptop, so I'm hoping this will work this week. So yes, we're on. Yes, thank you. I'm going to talk. You've no idea how delighted I am to get my laptop back and working. So let's take a talk about this week's blog, which is also all about taking time for self-care, but with the added bonus of using our self-care to improve our relationships as well. So I did say, last week what the different stages of relationships and different targeted problems that can happen at each stage. And really, I said effective communication was a really good one. So a lot of communication this morning coming into this. So basically, we're very busy. And relationships and really all our relationships can really suffer as a result, but the focus is on reconnecting as couples this morning. We don't have time for ourselves either. Ask any any busy parent, any busy person, have you got like 5 minutes even for yourself? Some days you say no, absolutely not. It was after 10 o'clock and I finished work on Thursday night. I was exhausted. We don't have time for ourselves. We don't have time for other people then as a result. So if you can combine the two sometimes, that can be a really good way of, building in a bit of self-care, but also building in your relationship and reconnecting with that relationship. Now, you can use this with your friends, you can use this with other family members where you want to improve the relationship. But as I said, today's talk will be targeting intimate relationships. So the premise of the blog is really that we take between 3 to 5 minutes on a task for a little bit of self-care, for a little bit of time for each other, and that we are in that 3 to 5 minutes, we're targeting one of our three brains. And yes, we do have three brains. We have the mind, we have the gut, and we have the heart, all connected by the central nervous system. So we really want to make sure that we're looking after them. Plus then, if we look at our boundaries, which are very important, so are we setting the boundaries, and to use those boundaries then to create time for ourselves. So there's lots of ideas in the blog that you can do, and you can go and check it out at www.DeborahByrnePsychologyServices.com. So think about it. We need about 20 minutes a day to ourselves. So I'm not even saying to you take 20 minutes a day, but you do need it. You don't have to even take that 20 minutes as one solid block. It would be great if you could, but we have to be realistic. So maybe it's a 5-minute chunk here, 5-minute chunk there, and we're breaking it up. But if you can even get 15 minutes over the course of the day for yourself and your relationship, that would be a big, big help. And as I said, we want to target the three brains in doing so. So the boundaries, first off, I look at some of the boundaries in this week's blog, and we have to ask ourselves, what are we actually asking for? What we want? Are we asking for our needs to be met? And that can include, as I say in the blog, that can include like asking for time alone. That can say asking for the date night. That can also be, asking for support and help. What would that feel like, asking for that? Remember, people are not mind readers. We can assume sometimes that they should know what we want and need, but they don't, not necessarily. And the other thing is, if we keep pushing ourselves, and saying yes, 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 then people will think it's okay to keep pushing you as well. And they'll keep asking you to do stuff. And the ever increasing to-do list will get longer and longer and longer. Therefore, I have to ask you, how comfortable are you with saying no? That is something we have to ask ourselves. Saying no to the extras, to that added on, to family and friends and to the work and that, so that you can claw back 5 minutes, 10 minutes or 15 minutes for yourself or your relationship. So, you get that time then for the self-care, you get that time for your relationship. Are you making the choices based on your own values? That's something else. If not, you're going to feel off center. You're not going to say no. You're not going to be holding your boundaries. You're not going to be validating yourself. You really aren't. And therefore, that has a ripple effect out onto your relationship. We have to think about happiness. An awful lot of the time, happiness, we think that we're responsible for somebody else's happiness, or we think somebody else is responsible for our happiness. Nobody can make you happy but yourself. Okay, happiness is an emotion, and they can't make you feel, or you can't make somebody else feel that you're happy. So get that in your head. You're not responsible for somebody else's happiness. You can't make them feel happy, no matter how much or what you do for them. It's okay to disagree with somebody, have a difference in opinion. How are you handling the criticism? Are you compassionate and kind towards yourself? Are you forgiving towards yourself, self-forgiving? These are all boundaries. They're part of our boundaries, but they will also make us feel, when we're operating from a more balanced, centered place, we'll feel more empowered. We'll feel more connected with ourselves and more confident within ourselves. So therefore, it's like a ripple effect. It ripples out to our nearest and dearest, to our relationships, our intimate relationships, our kids, closest family members and friends, but also to connections that we make in the workplace as well. So, with that in mind, I would say to you is, if you can get the 20 minutes, it would be great. But if you can't, and we have to be realistic here, is to break it up. Break it up into 5, 10, 15 or 20 minute slots throughout the day. So what can you do? You can try and combine what you're doing with your partner, which would be good, because I said that this morning's self-care would be, I'm talking about relationships this morning, and also about feeding our brain, the 3 brains. So what can I do that maybe either combines the 2, maybe the gut and the body, that means the body, the heart, also the body, of course, and the mind itself. So how can I feed that? So an example would be, a 3-minute breather. That's 3 minutes. That's it. 3 minutes to do a meditation. And you can do that anywhere, standing, waiting for the kettle to boil in the mornings. You can easily stand there while the kettle's waiting for the kettle to boil in the mornings, or waiting for your coffee to be made, if you have one of those machines like my daughter has. You can do a 3-minute breather. Simple. You've just taken care of all 3 brains at once, the gut, the heart, and the mind in one go, because you're reducing your stress levels. And, maybe you can do it then as a couple. Maybe that's something you can do as a couple at the end of an evening to calm down. Scheduling is going to be key here. It really is, because you can use it then as a way of, a 5-minute schedule, check-in time with each other at the end of a day. When you get into bed, bring the diaries, whether it's on the phone, on a tablet, or whether you're a paper and a pen girl like myself. Check in on how was your day, what's going on, and then schedule together. Okay, so you can brainstorm ideas. What can we do for date night? What can we do to give each other 5 minutes or 10 minutes time alone, to do some, as I said, a little bit of meditation maybe. Look for free babysitters wherever you can, but also ways, how can we this week or tomorrow connect with one another in our relationship? So maybe that's okay. I'll mind the kids tomorrow night. I'll keep them entertained. Go take 15 minutes soak in the bath, 15-20 minutes soak in the bath. That gives you self-care. He or she is babysitting, and you got your 15 or 20 minutes soak in the bath. So, if you're working together in conjunction with one another, you can brainstorm like that. Little tiny snippets of ways you can do that. What other things we could do would be, if you're working from home, take a lunch break together. Make sure you're getting lunch together. Create the lunch together, cook it together, sit down and eat together. Exercise together. Another way of doing it, I'm going to have a suggestion in a second for that. Coffee break. If you're, particularly now if people are working from home, and some people still are, can you connect like that? But the scheduling, that 5 minutes of scheduling at the end of an evening together, maybe it's after dinner before the kids have gone to bed, maybe it's after dinner, it tells your brain to start paying attention to the self-care and to the relationship, that these are now vitally important to me. I need you to pay attention to these. And that's what you're doing with the scheduling. So you're hitting a couple of things there. You're connecting with one another, you're checking in with each other and how things are going, you're making sure that the other person is, getting time for themselves, and that you're getting time as a couple as well, and that you're getting time alone. But you're also telling your brain, this is important to us, this relationship is important to us, and we want to build on it. More examples would be, the 5-minute chat over the cup of tea. Good communication, as I said, is vital. Now, this can be during the ads for the whatever television show you're watching. Turn off the phone, particularly over dinner, particularly of an evening time. Turn it off. Talk to one another. Too many people are on these and not enough contact talking this way. Okay, particularly if you're in the same room with one another and as a family as well. If you want the kids to do it, then you have to show them. You have to be willing to show them. So as I said, a 5-minute catch up, and usually the ads are going to run for 3 to 5 minutes during the television show. Halftime during the match. He or she is watching the match. There's halftime. Time for a quick cup of tea while you're waiting for the kettle to boil. Have a check in. Maybe you do a bit of exercise in the evenings after dinner. Grab the kids out the door, 10 minutes down the road, combining two of your slots, 5-minute slots together. Off you go, out down the road for a talk. You're running the adrenaline out of the body, so you're helping the stress levels reduce, but you're also running the adrenaline level out of the kids as well. Better able to sleep tonight. That might be a good idea. Also, if you're going by yourselves, and you can do that by yourselves safely, think about that's a time you can just reconnect and talk to one another for those 10 minutes every evening. And you're also, you're getting fitter as well, so you're boosting your serotonin levels. So you're targeting that walk of an evening is targeting all three brains. You're targeting the brain, the mind with the serotonin, you're targeting the gut health as well, and you target with the body health and the heart health as well. You're building the connection with the heart. If you were to combine that then with your 3-minute breather in the morning or last thing at night, hey, that's it, you're finished. You've done approximately about 15 minutes there. So you've gotten your thing in. 10-minute walk, 3-minute breather, boom, done, dusted. A little bit of self-care. So it's small. Think small. Think stupid small. And what we mean by stupid small is the smaller it is, the harder it is to fail at. It's so small you couldn't possibly fail. So, as I said, brainstorm other ideas. A few push-ups while you're waiting for the kettle to boil. Dancing around the kitchen to your favourite song. Think about that. You're exercising. It's only 3 to 4 minutes. It's very uplifting, so you're getting a boost in your serotonin as well, and you're getting the flood of good memories to that song. You're building a connection with one another because the song is playing and the memories, you're both having the same memories. But you're also breaking the tension. And, if there's kids in the room watching you, you're going to give them such a good laugh with mum and dad, or mum and mum, or dad and dad, dancing away in the kitchen. Or singing, or even just singing along to that song. And it does break up, if there's any tension in the house, something like that can really break up the tension. Watch how you're speaking to yourself and others as well. It doesn't even take a minute to say thank you to somebody, or to say I really appreciate that, but that's so big on building the connection with somebody, is to say I appreciate you doing that for me, or thank you for doing that for me. It can be so small and can only take a few seconds, but it can be so vital in keeping the lines of communication open and building the connection between the two of you. And think about using that, just showing something really good to the kids as well. We don't celebrate enough either. Think about that. Think about how can we as a couple celebrate all the small wins. Even just getting to the end of the day and having a cup of tea or a glass or something, putting your feet up at the end of the day and going, we made it. Today we made it. We made it to the end of the day. 5-minute cup of tea and 10 minutes cup of tea, putting your feet up. We celebrate the milestones that the kids reach as well. but we never consider celebrating them as parents and saying that there are our victories too. So, we don't see that. We don't see that, yes, we'll celebrate the child walking. We'll celebrate the child having their first words. It kind of goes downhill a little bit after that, and we don't think about all the other milestones that they might reach. But there are victories too. As parents, there are victories too. So think about creating a vision board where people in the house can see it. Of your favourite memories, the first steps, birthdays, holidays that you've had together. Something really, really visual, and something that people can see every time they go by. Get the kids involved if you have kids, or the two of you create it as a couple, and get those up where you can see it. Anything at all that kind of, a gratitude, even a gratitude or a memory jar where you pop stuff in once a day, one memory a day, one piece of something, your gratitude, and just write it on a small slips of paper, write it on it, pop it in a glass jar on the counter where you can see it, and then, at the end of the week, maybe taking a couple of minutes to read one or two of those. It can be so uplifting for your mind, but also the heart, and making that connection again with one another. So think about doing that. Think about sitting down maybe for even 5 or 10 minutes and brainstorming some ideas. And I have more, as I said, in the book, in the blog. There's plenty in my book, by the way, on the building blocks of self-care. But 5 minutes. How can I do 3 to 5 minutes of connection, and that also targets my mind, my heart, and my gut? So think about that. Something that will target each one of those, broken up, 5 minutes to each of them during the day. Quick, done, dusted, and go from there. So I'll leave it there, but I will put out an invitation to any mums out there who are feeling a bit stressed or anxious, and I know they are out there, that if I'm leaving a link in the description below where you can join a free group that I run, and we've 8 modules I think done at this stage, all there, or you can go back on in your own time. You can also then connect with me for free, pick my brains. I do questions, I do workshops, I do weekly questions, I do stress tips twice a week as well. So come along, join us in the group on Facebook. It's free. All the courses, the 8 courses, are free. They will be I'll keep adding to the courses each month. So do come along and join us if you want. As I said, its link is in the description below. And good morning as always to Deirdre, and thank you very much for tweeting out. She always tweets out every week that I'm on, and I will see you on Wednesday on Wexford, Deirdre, and thanks very much for connecting. It's an absolutely lovely day here in Ferns, by the way. I don't know what it's like down in Wexford town, but it is lovely up here in Ferns at the moment. So I will talk to you all again next week, and thank you for listening.